Hey guys, today I want to share with you 7 easy hacks to decluttering your home. And decluttering is one of the most underrated ways that you can increase your mental clarity, reduce your stress, and generally enjoy the space that you're living in more. So often the things that we surround ourselves with do kind of crowd into our subconscious and really cause unwanted stress, a lack of clarity, and just generally bring us down. So today I want to share with you 7 easy ways that you can begin decluttering your home today. And whether you're decluttering for the very first time or you're a pro declutterer, I hope that these 5 easy tips can help you to create that mental clarity, that peaceful environment, and that restful, relaxing home that you've been looking for. So let's get started with hack number 1, which is to go at your own pace. And I think that a lot of times we look at the space around us and we automatically want everything to be done and just kind of have that beautiful minimal environment that we see in the home tours of other YouTubers or of the pins that we see on Pinterest. But the reality is that decluttering your home and decluttering your life really does take time. And so what we need to remember is that the amount of time it's going to take us to declutter is going to be unique to our situation, our lifestyle, the amount of time we have to declutter, the amount of emotional attachment we may have to our items. Those are all factors that are going to weigh in and really impact how much time it's going to take you to declutter. And so the key to remember here is to go at your own pace. Yes, absolutely. Start today if that initial starting is what's holding you back. But also remember that this is a journey, it takes time, and that you don't need to compare your efforts or the amount of time it takes you to declutter to those of others. For some of you who've been holding on to things for 20 or 30 years, this process might take years. For others of you who are just out of college, it might take a few days or a few months. Remember that no matter how long it takes you, that is okay. It's your personal journey, so take it at your own pace and don't worry about trying to compare yourself to others in that process. Now, tip number 2 has to do with setting standards for yourself and setting goals. And you can begin doing this before you even begin that decluttering process. Ask yourself, what do I want my house to look like once it's decluttered? How many items of clothing do I want to have? How many different kinds of makeup items do I want to own? You don't need to set specific numbers to hold yourself to, but generally visualize, what do I want that decluttered space to look like? As you then go and physically then begin that process of decluttering, these guidelines and these goals are really going to help you to be working towards something so that you're not just haphazardly decluttering. You know what you want the end goal to look like. And if you need inspiration in this or are having a hard time clearly defining those goals, try looking for inspiration in different places. Maybe look at the house of a friend who's really clean, organized, and has a simple, beautiful space. Or look on Pinterest for ideas and inspiration. Honestly, you just want to clearly define what it is that you're trying to achieve in decluttering and then go begin the process. And that's where the second half of this tip comes in, which is to set guidelines. Once you've decluttered your space, you want to maintain that space. And so you also want to have goals for, okay, what do I want my space to look like going forward now that it's decluttered? This can be something like a really simple rule for purchasing, like I want to have a 1 in, 1 out rule for every item I buy. I want to declutter something. Or it could also look like I'd like to own X number of items of clothing for every season of the year. You want to tailor these guidelines and these rules to your personality, your lifestyle, figure out what is an achievable and attainable goal for you. But once you have decluttered your space, it doesn't naturally maintain itself. It does still take intentionality. And so you want to create some loose guidelines in place. You don't need to hold to them strictly, but loose guidelines will really be helpful for you in maintaining that decluttered space that you've created. Hack number 3 is one of the easiest ways I've found of simplifying the decluttering process, and it really does help us to answer that question, how do I decide what to keep and what to get rid of? And so for this hack, all you need to do as you're decluttering is to ask yourself 2 questions. Do I use this item? And do I love this item? I am a firm believer that we should be holding on to items that we both use and love. Not everything has to be 100% useful, and you don't need to 100% love everything that you use. But if you can generally answer yes to, I actually use this item, meaning I wear it more than once a year, I use this cooking gadget more than once a year, figure out exactly how often something has to be used to be useful to you. But you want to use that item, and then you also want to love that item, because I think a lot of times we hold on to items that just kind of sit around there, and we might use them every once in a blue moon, but we could care less about that item. And I really do believe in surrounding ourselves with things that we love. And so ask yourself those two questions. Do I use this item, and do I love this item? And I think that the vast majority of things that we're considering decluttering can be answered, do I keep it or do I not, by just asking yourself those two simple questions. Use and value. Those are two fundamental things that should help us to dictate whether or not we keep something. Moving on, tip number 4 is to finish the job. And we talked earlier about decluttering being a process, and it is all too easy to stop before we've actually finished the job. I find that a lot of people will declutter their closet, their bathroom, their kitchen, and then maybe leave it there. But the truth is that if we truly want to create that decluttered, peaceful, relaxing environment that we all desire, we can't just stop there. We need to be diligent to explore those nooks and crannies, those little areas of our lives that are clutter catchers. The junk drawer, the extra shelving unit, the garage. There are so many different places where we often allow clutter to build up and sometimes forget about those in our decluttering process. But it's figuring out exactly what to do with the items in those areas that's really going to help us take our decluttering to the next level so that we can finish the job. And so if you've been decluttering for a while, I want to encourage you to keep on going. Yes, it can be hard to find the motivation to finish the job, especially when some of those items in those last few areas remaining do take longer to declutter than others, but I promise you it's worth it. If you can fully declutter your home and your life, there are so many incredible benefits waiting for you on the other side. So don't stop halfway, finish the job. And then my last piece of advice for you guys today is to make decluttering a habit. And it would be amazing if decluttering was just a one-time thing where we could declutter our homes and then be done. We'd be good forever. But the truth of the matter is, it is completely unrealistic to assume that we're never going to bring things into our lives ever again. And on top of that, the things that we use and love do change over time. We aren't static as individuals, and so we shouldn't expect our possessions to be static over time either. And because of this, it's important to make decluttering a habit. No, you're probably not going to have to go through and do a huge declutter of your entire house every month or so, but as you go through your daily life, once you have decluttered for the first time, it is a really helpful practice to get into, just to be mindful at the back of your mind to say, okay, do I still use and value this item? Or perhaps instead you just want to once a month look over a small area of your life and say, okay, is there anything that I'm not using and that I'm not getting value from anymore? It's the simple things like that, incorporating a little bit of decluttering into your everyday life, that's going to make a huge difference in helping you to maintain that peaceful and decluttered space that you wanted in the first place. So make decluttering a habit and enjoy the benefits of simplicity and peace of mind that translate to your home, your mind, and your entire life, really. So those are my 5 easy hacks on how you can declutter your home today. I promise you, if you incorporate all 5 of these steps, not only are you going to have an easier time going through that decluttering process, but you're also going to maintain it long term. I know that in my personal life, I've derived tremendous benefits from incorporating decluttering into my life. I have a lot more clarity, I'm a lot less stressed as a person, I enjoy the space that I'm living in a lot more. There are a lot of benefits that I've experienced, and I really want these to be for you as well. So try out these decluttering hacks and let me know in the comments below if you have any other decluttering hacks that you've tried that I may not have mentioned here. Also, if you guys want to see more about what's going on in my personal life, as well as more minimalism and intentional living inspiration, be sure to follow me on Instagram. I'll have that linked below as well. But my Instagram handle is ashlynne.eaton, and I would love to have you join me there. That's everything for today's video though. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.